Good afternoon, everyone. I'll give everyone a second to join, come in from the waiting room. It's 12:30 and the session you're entering is 5.2, Powering Progress, Unlocking Energy Solutions for Connecticut's Multifamily Buildings. And I just have a quick thank you to our sponsors. Again, we wouldn't be able to have this conference without their great support. So thank you very much to them. And I'm going to start the conference. I'm going to stop sharing now. And Katie, if you'd like to share your slides now. And I'm going to kick it off to Katie Shelton. So you can introduce yourselves and the group we have today for you.
All right, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining our session on day two. It will be focused on energy saving solutions for our multifamily buildings in Connecticut. My name is Natalia Sudica. I am the Energy Efficiency Supervisor at Eversource, where I lead the multifamily retrofit team. Next slide, please. So to set the agenda for our panel today, first you will hear from me on the various energy saving solutions we have here at Eversource for our customers. Next, you will hear from Zoema Varshavsky of Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection on various state and federal programs that braid with actually my program as well. Followed by with Katie Shelton of the Green Bank, who will focus on various solar and battery storage programs. And last but not least, Heidi Dragonet of Avangrid, who will talk about shared clean energy facility solutions. And so together, our work really shapes how homes and communities reduce energy use, improve resilience, as well as take advantage of clean energy opportunities. So we will help you connect the dots really between policy and practice. So energy efficiency lowers the energy we need. Incentives really help make upgrades affordable for us. Solar generates clean power, and then batteries give us the flexibility as well as the reliability to actually use that power when it is most needed in our homes. Throughout our session today, we will have several polls popping up on the screen. So if you can please stay engaged with us and answer them, that would be really helpful for us. Next slide, please. So my focus for today's session is solutions for existing multifamily buildings with 5 or more dwelling units. Our multifamily initiative offers technical assistance, incentives, as well as various financing products for long-term planning, as well as immediate projects that can be implemented. Next. At a glance, Eversource is the electric and natural gas utility here in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire, and we help implement energy efficiency programs in each of the 3 states. And altogether, we're helping all of our 4.4 million residential as well as commercial customers in all 3 states. Next, please. So here in Connecticut, you may actually recognize our programs by Energize Connecticut. So this is implemented by Eversource, Avangrid, as well as the Green Bank. And one of the programs I'll be talking about today is the Multifamily Initiative. So next, please. All right, so an energy efficiency future is really important to us here in Connecticut. So to paint a picture, just last year in 2024, we were able to generate over $400 million in lifetime savings for about 272,000 customers that participated in our programs. So that could be residential, commercial, or rebates, so on and so forth. And to paint this in a totally different lens, which is really significant, these savings eliminated the need for a 58 megawatt power plant. So how does this relate to a multifamily property? Next slide. So the graphic here depicts a multifamily property. And it actually just shows how busy they can really be in terms of energy use. And so hopefully that also paints a picture of why it's important to talk about it. So the stars all throughout this graphic actually represent example areas where we can support through our program. And we will want to really look at your building portfolio holistically. So top to bottom. So from top, we see several residential apartments with energy saving opportunities, whether it's for lighting, appliances, maybe individual mechanical equipment for, heating, cooling, domestic hot water, as well as controls. And then all throughout, there may be areas to tighten the building envelope, reducing drafts and improving comfort for all of the residents, maybe even visitors to the building. And then upgrading or optimizing central heating plants and controls. We can see that throughout the building as well, throughout the common areas, maybe fitness centers, kitchens, even stairwells and hallways. There are many opportunities to optimize the current systems that are in place, or even add comprehensive controls to manage the actual building's energy use better. And so that's really dwelling units as well as common areas, all of the systems I just mentioned. So in addition to these energy efficiency opportunities, our programs through Energize Connecticut also offer solutions for electric vehicle charging, which you might see all the way on the bottom there. So EV charging, as well as active demand response, which actually helps our grid quite a bit. Next slide, please. So why should we really invest in energy efficiency in buildings? So in buildings similar to the one we just looked at, it's really important. And I'll talk about really four buckets of the benefits. So the first one being, I would say really a really important one is reducing operating costs as well as maintenance expenses with newer and more efficient equipment. The second bucket could be increasing the comfort of tenants as well as unit owners, depending if it's a rental or maybe a condo complex. And in many instances, helping to actually reduce the bills of the tenants and, folks that live in those buildings. This also may actually lead to tenant retention rates, which is quite important. And I know we've been talking about that throughout the conference in both days. The third bucket here is improving the property value as well as really looking at it from a longevity perspective. So with various improvements that could be that could be really important to take a look at. And then last but not least is reducing the environmental impact or really the total building footprint. So that's something that keeps me going every day. And a lot of our customers were finding that this is also, very important and top of mind for a lot of folks. Next slide, please. So we're here to help create a project roadmap that actually aligns with the building owners' available capital and goals, whatever they may be. And something that we come to find out when we are speaking with landlords, with property owners, with managers, is that every building or every owner has different goals, different budgets. They might have a smaller operational budget, but a larger capital budget that expands that extends over several years. So it's really important for us to really understand where our customers are in their journey and how we can essentially support them in those stages. So recognizing the different budgetary streams that our customers have really helps us, but also helps the customers that we're working with. So when we're looking at short-term planning, we're really looking at quick turnaround projects, maybe engineering studies, building controls to help optimize the systems and end-of-life equipment replacements. For medium term, we might be looking into incremental electrification, maybe subsystem efficiency, and then long-term planning, which typically is 2 years, maybe much longer than that. Maybe we're looking at 20 to 30 years. We're looking at actual heat pumps, geothermal, really full decarbonization here. So it's major, major HVAC and DHW upgrades. So Eversource can help support each one of the stages. As I mentioned in my first slide, it's, whether it's incentives, technical expertise, or financial solutions, we're really here to work with our customers and support you on the journey there. Next slide, please. So for those that don't know where to start on their energy savings journey, this slide is very important. We have technical assistance to really understand how the building uses energy and then where the key opportunities may be. So, it's great to look at that graphic a few slides previously and see the lovely stars everywhere. But what does that actually mean? Where do you actually start on that? So for portfolio-wide planning, we want to start there, high-level assessments to really identify the key opportunities, see how the building is performing, and then identify where we might be able to increase the performance, reduce energy, ultimately reducing the bills, the energy bills that are being seen by that building. We do have comprehensive building assessments that we're looking at, which is really diving deeper into a single facility, and that's to really uncover what's going on within that one specific property. And then we might be looking at focus studies, which is even going more and more in depth, which is essentially an analysis of very specific energy saving measures. So it might be just looking at mechanicals or looking at steam traps. If you have steam in your building, you might be interested in taking a look at really how that system is performing and what can be done to improve it, or maybe altogether get rid of it and upgrade to a different system, if that makes sense. So regardless, these are the tools available to help our customers meet their goals. As I mentioned, everyone has different goals in mind. So we'd like to make sure that we're really there, supporting our customers from that perspective. Next slide, please. So our programs offer various financial incentives, and it's really dependent on the projects that are being pursued by our customers, but also where the properties are actually located. So in addition to the various custom incentives that we have in place, we also have enhanced incentives for properties located within environmental justice communities. And so if you're unsure whether your property is located within an EJC, you can actually take a look at Connecticut Deep's website. There's a lovely map there. You can just type in the address and really find out whether it's in an EJC or not, or just talk to my team and we'll be able to do that for you as well. But I did want to talk through the different incentive packages that we have available. So we're really trying to, as I mentioned before, look at buildings holistically. So take a look at direct install measures, which we're actually covering up to 100%. So it's a no-cost weatherization improvement for your properties. And then you might be looking to pursue a single measure. So say, you might be looking into lighting upgrades. So for income eligible properties, that's up to 75% of measure cost. And then if you are looking at from a comprehensive perspective, you might be seeing up to 90% of project cost for incentives available. So these incentive caps are up on the screen, but as I mentioned before, each measure is screened on a custom basis, which means the higher the energy savings, essentially the higher the incentive that's offered. So that's what we have for our affordable housing. And for income eligible, I realized the one thing I did not explain is to qualify as income eligible, 66% of the residents within a multifamily property must be at or below the 60% state median income. So that's right in alignment with what we have here. Next slide, please. And this will be my last slide, actually. And that's really, this is all great, but how do you actually reach out to us? How do we actually continue the discussion? So we're hoping that you will partner with us by connecting with us. We can help you explore different energy solutions, as I mentioned before, whether it's actually energy efficiency or demand response or electric vehicle charging. Partnering with Eversource can actually do that for you. So we do encourage folks to reach out to us. We're also looking to collaborate with not only our customers, but also the various vendors that are working within our state, which is really important. Whether it's vendors or developers of various properties. That's something that we're looking to do as well. And then last but not least is financing. So that's when, I talked about the various incentives that we have available. We also have various means of financing projects that, for the remainder balance of what our incentives cannot cover, we do have financial packages that can be applied essentially to help you move forward with energy saving projects. Sorry. And with that, I will actually pass it over to the next speaker. I do have Kitty, if you can just go through the questions. Go to the next slide, please. Just popping this up on the screen to contact us. Please reach out to my team at multifamily@eversource.com. And what we can do is, set up time to discuss your energy needs, any energy saving projects that you're looking at, either now or in the future. And then if you do want to be connected to Avangrid, we'd be also happy to do that for you. So thank you for having me, and I'll pass it over to the next speaker.
Thanks. Are we doing a poll
Yeah.
now?
Is the poll showing, Katie?
It is.
Good.
So poll question number 1 is, what decarbonization strategies are you looking to include in your multifamily projects? Please provide your contact information if you're interested in a follow-up discussion with a panel member on one of the topics covered today.
Katie, you can just let me know when you're ready to move on, and I'll end the poll.
Thank you. All right, go ahead, Zoema.
All right. Hey everyone, I'm Zoema Warshofsky. I'm a research analyst supervisor at Deep Department of Energy and Environmental Protections. I'm in our Bureau of Energy and Technology Policies and our Office of Affordable Housing Energy Retrofits. So my work focuses on energy affordability and energy incentives for affordable housing. So I'll talk about 3 different programs from DEEP. The first one relates to what Natalia was speaking about. So some of you might be aware of the Inflation Reduction Act home energy rebate programs. Next slide. So these are federally funded programs that were created as part of the Inflation Reduction Act back in 2022. There's 2 separate programs. They have different names, so that's why I included all these, because people may know them differently. So 50121, or the Home Efficiency Rebates Program, or HER. This program is based on energy savings, where the rebates, there's higher rebates for higher savings. And then 50122, or Home Electrification and Appliance Rebate Program, or HERE. And this has specific rebates for certain upgrades, electrification and appliance upgrades. Next slide. So a little bit more about HER, which is the efficiency program. Like I said, this program allows for rebates based on energy savings. So if your project shows that you're going to save more energy, then you may qualify for a higher rebate. This program will be targeted specifically for low-income multifamily buildings. And in this program, a low-income multifamily building is defined as at least 50% of the units have incomes less than 80% area median income. So a little bit different than what Natalia was saying, but we are working with Eversource and UI to ensure that projects can still qualify for both programs. And so, like I said, we're integrating this program with the multifamily initiative implemented by Eversource and United Illuminating. So when you would apply for multifamily initiative, Natalia's team would determine if you could also qualify for her rebates, which will be combined with or integrated with the existing multifamily initiative rebates. And so the funds have been obligated to DEEP, and we are now working on the blueprints. We're hoping to launch early to mid 2026, but this is contingent on DOE approval. We need approval from DOE before we are allowed to launch the program and give out rebates. All right, next slide. Here, so this is the electrification rebate program. So like I said, this has rebates for specific upgrades such as heat pumps, heat pump water heaters, electric stoves and ranges, heat pump clothes dryers, electric panels and wiring, and insulation, air sealing, and ventilation. So for this program, we're planning on targeting mainly low-income households, which is again less than 80% area median income. But this one, you could live in both a single family and multifamily building to qualify. And because it has the single family households as well as multifamily, it will be coordinated with other utility programs, such as the Home Energy Solutions Income Eligible Program, the Home Energy Solutions Program, sorry for that typo, and also the Multifamily Initiative Program. So yeah, these are those utility programs that we're looking to coordinate with. And again, there would be one application for both programs. And like her, the funds have been obligated to DEEP and our blueprints have been accepted by DOE. We are still hoping to launch in 2025, but again, this is contingent on DOE approval, which we are waiting for. All right, next slide. Okay, so the next program I'll talk about is the Weatherization Assistance Program, or WAP. Next slide, please. So like the IRA rebate programs, WAP is also federally funded, and this program assists low-income households in minimizing energy-related costs and fuel usage through retrofits and home improvement measures at no cost to the residents. The eligibility for this program is households that are at or below 60% state median income. The program currently serves 1 to 4 unit homes. So I know this conference is more focused probably on larger multifamily, but we wanted to include this in case there are some folks that have smaller rental properties that could qualify for WAP. And DEEP is working on developing a multifamily program that would serve 5+ unit buildings. But stay tuned for more information on that. Next slide, please. So a little bit more about how to qualify for WAP or just requirements on WAP. A property can only be served once every 15 years. So if you apply for the program, we will do a check to make sure that it hasn't been previously weatherized in the last 15 years. And it has to be weatherization ready, meaning it cannot have significant barriers to weatherization, such as mold, asbestos, knob and tube wiring, etc. Next slide, please. The common efficiency measures that are installed through WAP are attic wall and basement insulation, air sealing, pipe insulation, and HVAC upgrades where applicable. To determine if a measure can be installed, it must have a savings to investment ratio of 1 or greater, so it must save more money than it costs to install. And recommended measures are determined by an energy model that the U.S. Department of Energy approves. Next slide. So if you're interested in WAP, I think when these slides are given out, there should be links here. But you can either contact DEEP or contact your local community action agency to apply. All right, next slide. The last program I'll talk about is a broadband program. So though not exactly energy efficiency, broadband is very important for tenants and can be necessary for certain smart energy upgrades. So the Connected Communities Grant Program, like I said, it's an internet broadband program that encourages installation of broadband that's at least 100 megabytes per second up and 100 megabytes per second down. To apply or to qualify for this program, applicants must pay standard installation costs. So that's an internet service provider or another entity that would actually install the internet. But there would be no cost to the end user. And any installation costs that exceed the standard installation cost average may be compensated at DEEP's discretion. Next slide. So this program is available to multifamily or multi-dwelling unit properties with 4+ units. If someone wants to install internet in one of these buildings, then they must include details on the specific issues and proposed solutions, along with a memorandum of understanding between the internet service provider and property owners. So the funding provides all capital costs associated with network design, construction, and equipment for newer upgrade fiber broadband or Wi-Fi networks. And the service must reach the end user. There's no matching contribution, and the project must reach substantial completion by December 31st, 2026. Next slide, please. So if you live in a building, own a building, manage a building with internet issues and are interested in this program, then you can use the website linked below or reach out to DEEP to suggest your building for this program to install better internet. All right, those are the DEEP programs that I wanted to talk to you all about. Thank you.
Sean, if you want to launch the next
Sure.
poll question. So the next poll question is, to what extent are you currently prioritizing decarbonization strategies in the design of your projects? You would go ahead and take a moment to respond. That would be great. Great. I'm going to go ahead and end the poll question. Excellent. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Katie Shelton. I serve as a Senior Manager of Market Engagement for the Connecticut Green Bank. Many of the clients that we work with choose to do energy efficiency and weatherization upgrades either prior to or in parallel with solar for their facility. In many cases, the solar project itself provides revenue to help support the development of these projects. Today's presentation is going to focus on the support and financing that's offered through the Connecticut Green Bank's Solar Marketplace Assistance Program. to help accelerate the adoption of solar and battery storage on site at affordable multifamily housing properties. So for anybody who's not familiar, the Connecticut Green Bank is a quasi-public state agency here in Connecticut, founded in 2011 with the goal of accelerating the green economy in the state. One of the ways in which we do so is through the Solar Marketplace Assistance Program Plus, also fondly referred to as Solar MAP Plus, which is a program that we offer here at the Green Bank to provide no-cost technical assistance and project development support. We support 3 different market segments. We started working exclusively with municipalities and schools. We ultimately expanded to include state agencies. And then as of January of last year, we launched support for affordable multifamily housing. To date, through our program, we've successfully developed over 60 solar projects and have many more projects in the earlier stages of development. Through our assessments, we are offering technical assistance for both solar as a standalone product and solar and battery storage as a paired development option. We really manage the process from point A to Z all the way through construction, and are really your long-term partner for the lifetime of the project. One of the key benefits of our program is that we do run a competitive RFP for contractor selection. That really entails Green Bank developing projects in rounds. So we wait until we have a portfolio of like projects together, and then we issue a competitive RFP for contractor selection, benefit being that we gain economies of scale by developing portfolios of projects together. The Solar MAP Plus program for affordable multifamily housing ultimately utilizes the Residential Renewable Energy Solutions Program, or RES, which is the residential solar incentive available here in the state of Connecticut. This is a relatively new change. Previously, most projects that were developed for affordable multifamily housing were developed utilizing the commercial solar incentive in the state of Connecticut, which is called previously the LREC-ZREC program, and most recently the NRES program. The shortfall of that project structure in using the commercial incentive is that it generally limited project development to tying in behind a common area meter for facility only. And thus, the financial benefit of that project did not trickle down to the residents of the facility. In addition to that, the commercial incentive program in the state is a competitive solicitation, and there's a limited pool of funding to be allocated on an annual basis. By switching to the residential incentive program, which affordable multifamily housing projects can now take advantage of in both Eversource and UI territory, we're now able to develop one project to benefit both the property owner and residents alike. Applications are received on a rolling basis, and we're able to take advantage of a substantially higher tariff value for the project. Historically, the max incentive in the commercial program has been about 20 cents a kilowatt hour, and the residential tariff that we're taking advantage of for these projects is almost double at 37.45 cents per kilowatt hour for fiscal year 2025. Because these projects are being incentivized at a much higher tariff value, it is a requirement of this program that the financial benefit be shared with the residents of the facility. Pretty simple process for properties where tenants are paying their own utilities and each of the units are individually metered. Ultimately, Eversource or UI, depending on where the project is located, will virtually allocate 20% of the tariff, and that is equally split as an on-bill monetary credit on each of the residents' utility bills. For sites that are either master metered and or where the property owner is paying the electric bill for each of the units, projects will fall under the master metered program rules, where it's a slightly different calculation. of the net present value of 25% of the tariff over the entire contract term that must be spent on an eligible measure for the facility. You will see here on the screen that these measures are broken up between immediate measures, so upgrades that could be completed within 6 months of the commercial operation of the system, and then ongoing measures, which are measures that would be paid out over the lifetime of the solar project. In this case, it's a 20-year revenue contract with the utility company. You'll see listed under the immediate measure category that energy efficiency measures are the first item listed. So again, you can take advantage of the programs that Natalia and Zulema previously described, where there's incentives being offered for these types of upgrades. If there's a gap in financing, there's revenue that's being generated by these projects that could be put towards those energy efficiency measures. And by stacking the incentives on top of this revenue contract, it opens the doors for more upgrades to be completed to a facility, because you're still required to spend that net present value of 25% of the tariff. Reason projects are structured this way is because there's no direct relationship between the residents and the utility company, because they're not paying their own electric bill in this scenario. So by making an improvement to their physical living condition, the residents are receiving a benefit in this transaction. There are other measures on this list, including energy storage, remediation, adding EV charging stations, green spaces and community amenities, completing security enhancements, balanced ventilation systems, and an option of last resort would be funding an operational reserve for the facility. For the ongoing measures, it includes broadband internet access, providing on-site mental health and supportive services, hiring a residential service coordinator, or providing bill credits on electric bills that are covered by landlords. This is by no means an exhaustive list. You'll see that there are other measures listed here. So if there's something that's of interest that's been contemplated for the facility, but you've not been able to secure funding for it, do have the ability to potentially submit as an other measure and get that approved to spend that net present value of 25% of the tariff for a facility upgrade. The financing product that the Connecticut Green Bank has launched as of January of last year to support solar on affordable multifamily housing is a solar lease. I always say that this is probably a poor descriptor because when we say lease, most folks think of an equipment lease or a car lease where you're paying a fee to actually utilize the equipment. That is not the case here. Our solar lease is really structured as a revenue share mechanism where the Green Bank is the third-party system owner. We're bearing all of the development expenses associated with the project and then simply sharing in the revenue with the residents and property owner alike. So to reiterate, there is no investment required by the property owner. Green Bank, as the third-party system owner, is also responsible for the operations and maintenance costs and ultimately ensuring the system throughout the contract term. As an example, you'll see here on the screen the results of our round one affordable multifamily housing portfolio that was developed last year. The average savings per unit or resident unit was about $363 per year. And the average financial benefit to the property owner was $569,000. You'll see that the tenant savings range from $201 per unit in annual savings up to $565 per unit. Ultimately depends on the size of the project, the kilowatt hour production, and then the cost to build it. As I mentioned at the start of this presentation, wherever it makes sense and wherever there's interest from the client, we will look to pair battery storage as part of the scope of our project development. There's no cost for this assessment. It is completed through the Solar Marketplace Assistance Program. When we pair battery storage with solar, we're ultimately looking to pull it into the lease structure so that there's no investment required by the property owner, and they gain the benefit of resiliency in the event of a power outage. In addition to that, for any site where there are demand charges on the utility bill, it could provide increased savings to the property owner. Through this program, we're ultimately pulling in upfront and performance-based incentives through the Energy Storage Solutions Program and any available tax benefits that we can pull into the project. To kind of close out the discussion today, time is really of the essence. If any of you are interested in exploring a project for one or more of your facilities, and that is because the One Big Beautiful Bill, which was signed on July 4th, ultimately has created an accelerated phase out of the investment tax credit that is available for solar project development. We are looking to run an upcoming RFP, which we anticipate releasing either in December of this year or very early Q1 2026, with the goal being to safe harbor those projects and try to preserve the project economics by locking in the investment tax credit. You can find my contact information here on the screen. Please feel free to reach out if there's interest in discussing a specific project. Next up on the agenda is going to be Heidi Dragonette from UI, who's going to provide an overview of the Shared Clean Energy Facility Program, or SCEF, which is a great option for facilities that cannot pursue an on-site solar solution. Before I hand it over to Heidi, if we want to launch our next poll question, that would be great. So poll question, what is the biggest barrier to implementing decarbonization, energy efficiency, and renewable solutions in multifamily buildings? Give you a minute to respond. All right, we want to end the poll, that would be great. And I'll pass it off to you, Heidi.
Thank you, Katie. As Katie mentioned, I'm Heidi Dragonette, and I'm presenting on the Shared Clean Energy Facility Program, which is also referred to as SCEF, and is a facilitated program by Eversource and UI. The Shared Clean Energy Facility Program aims to help communities and organizations collaborate to create a cleaner and more sustainable environment using what may be referred to as community solar model. Next slide, please. First, SCEF projects or facilities are constructed by a system owner to provide locally generated, renewable, low-carbon, clean energy. The system owner then delivers all of the clean energy that they produce to the electric distribution company, Eversource or United Illuminating. Eversource and UI purchase the energy and the renewable energy certificates from these local clean energy projects. Per legislation, the clean energy benefit is then shared with eligible residential, business, municipality, and service organization customers subscribed to the SCEF program as a credit applied to their monthly electricity bill. Next slide, please. SCEF subscription enrollment is managed by Eversource and UI, and priority is given to the following customer segments: low and moderate income customers, affordable housing facilities, low-income service organizations, and small business customers. Other customers who are also eligible include commercial customers, municipal customers, state customers, and customers who simply cannot install a clean energy system on their roof. This could be for reasons like it's too shaded, it has too many trees in order to benefit from a solar installation. 90% of SCEF subscriptions are allocated by the utilities using an opt-out process. The utilities pre-identify eligible customers and select them for the SCEF subscriptions. Customers are then notified at least 30 days in advance that they have been selected. And the letter and the backup that they receive give them an option to opt out of the program. Otherwise, we automatically subscribe them or enroll them into the program to receive the on-bill credit. A minimum of 50% of subscriptions will be allocated to low-income customers. 10% of all SCEF subscriptions are available for opt-in customers. This is where a customer applies to participate in the program and is notified if they are awarded a subscription by their utility company. We have events that we host and that we attend. And during those events, customers can learn more about the program so they can fill out an application on site. We also form relations with some of the service organizations within our territories, and they share this information with the customer. And they also have online application access there with the service organization or hard copy applications to submit. Applications can be submitted through the mail, online. We also have a shared clean energy community mailbox that they can be sent to, which is online as well. 10% of all subscriptions being for opt-in customers, they submit their application, and then what happens is we review the application internally and determine if they definitely are eligible for the on-bill credit. Next slide, please. Customer participation in the SCEF program is free and without obligation. A lot of times our customers find this too good to be true, but it is true. Customers selected as subscribers will receive a monthly bill credit for up to 20 years. The credit is based on the customer's average monthly bill at the time of enrollment, and it generally ranges as far as the credit between $10 and $20 per month. The credit will remain the same each month and can be transferred with a customer if they move to a new address within the same territory as UI or Eversource. If the customer moves outside of the territory, then the subscription would come to an end. Once a customer is subscribed to a SCEF facility, recertification is not necessary, and the customer need not do anything else for the process, just receive the credit. For more information, you may visit the Eversource or United Illuminating websites for shared clean energy facilities. Thank you for your time.
Great. I think we'll open it up to any questions.
There is one question in the QA. What are the 5-year energy CT plans for heat pump incentives for low to moderate income housing? Are they increasing or decreasing?
Natalia?
Sorry, coming off mute. Alrighty, so the one part of that question I did not get was whether it was for single family or multifamily. So I'll speak to multifamily for next year. And so actually back in August of this year, we had gone ahead and actually enhanced our incentives a bit for heat pumps. And so we are looking to continue with those enhanced incentives for next year. So we are not looking at prescriptive incentives per tonnage. We are looking at screening them from a custom perspective, which is what I mentioned in my presentation. So the way that works is we essentially apply an incentive cap, so not to exceed up to 90% of the installed cost within income eligible space. So I hope that helps. If not, I can connect you to folks within other programs for next year's information.
Thanks, Natalia. If there are other questions, feel free to go ahead and put them in the Q&A section. Seeing none. Well, we really appreciate your time this afternoon, everyone. It's been great chatting with you all and providing an overview of the programs that are available here in Connecticut. We're here as a resource, so if there are any questions, please reach out to us. If there are specific questions or projects that you want to chat about, happy to do so. We'll make sure that a copy of this deck is shared and circulated, so you'll have the information available to review at your leisure after the conference.
Thank you all, and we'll be next session will be beginning at 1:45. So please check the agenda. And thank you so much for the presentation and to, the variety of programs that are available. It's really incredible. So thank you everyone for joining us.